I also want to talk about ticket size because this is where a lot of MSPs can go wrong, and it really has a big impact on it limits the visibility into like what's actually going on with this project. So you want a ticket to be a cohesive unit of value for the customer with minimal dependencies on other tickets. Okay, so what does that mean? Basically, you want it to be something that can be added or removed or changed that doesn't really depend on much else. So, as an example, let's say that you have a project for a network upgrade at a certain office. You might think about having just one ticket that says, okay, like uh, install the new office router. Okay, but that's actually too big because within that you can pretty easily think of the discrete steps that make that up. So one is you got to order it, right? Okay, so that I would recommend you go at more uh, that sort of level. You can order the router. Okay, then you're gonna wait for a while till it comes. Then you're gonna have a configuration. Probably you're configuring it in your office before you take it out there. So configuring the router, and then finally you schedule a time to replace it, and then you go out and do it at the time you agreed. Okay, so that's at least three different steps. So that's sort of the size that we're looking at. The benefit of that is that if you're looking at this on a Kanban board, then you can really easily see for this router installation project where are all uh, the actual work that has to go into this. What stage is all that work at? So if you're getting hung up on one particular part, then you can see that as a project manager, and you can communicate that to your customer and so on. Okay, so we're looking kind of like that. So another way to think about it is like if you can, it's kind of ideal. I know this isn't always possible, but if you can set it out so that it's done by one technician in one sitting, okay, that's great if you can do that. um, if you know in advance the work requires a handoff, then split it up. Like if you can think, okay, I know that two different people have to do some of the work on this. Think about if you can actually make that two different tickets. Now, if you have kind of a process where work, the engineer says it's done, and then they put it into a review stage where some other engineer comes and takes a look at it, or manager looks at it, or whatever, it says, okay, yes, I agree, this is done. That doesn't count. That's actually a good practice. There's multiple people working on that, but that is it's not the same thing. It's not like the actual work going into it. And if you're ever in doubt, err on the side of two small tickets. Okay, I've rarely seen that problem in the real world. We talk to a lot of MSPs. It's much more common to make tickets that are too big versus too small. So if you're unsure, go ahead and make it smaller. Okay, if it turns out that you're just doing a whole bunch of busy work because you made your tickets too small, okay, well then go fix it, or next time do it better. But that happens pretty rarely, and without exception, uh, I should say almost without exception, make it at the most 2 days of work. Anything more than 2 days, there's not enough visibility into that. You ought to be able to break that sort of ticket up into other tickets that are at the most 2 days of work. The only exception is stuff that's really experimental, like you don't even know if you're actually going to be able to do it successfully, right? And the customer understands that, and they've got a big budget for this because they want something that's nobody's ever done before, right? And you can't say how long it's going to take. If that's the case, then maybe go ahead and make it more than 2 days. Otherwise, 2 days.